Hello and welcome to Life with Miss D. How are you doing today? Today is Sunday and I just got home from church, and so I'm going to cook Sunday dinner. And basically I think I'm going to keep it pretty simple. I'm going to do some pork chops. I'm going to fry them. And I'm going to mash some potatoes. And I already have peeled some potatoes and I got them soaking in water. I did that off camera. And then I think I'm going to do a cabbage. Do some fried cabbage and cornbread. And I may open up a can of corn or maybe some peas, a can of peas, black-eyed peas. And so we'll just see. But anyway, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And share this video. And don't forget to hit the notification bell so you can be aware when I release a new video. Alright, let's get started. Okay, since the potatoes take the longest to fix, I want to do those first. I've already cut up the white potatoes. And so I just use regular Idaho russet potatoes. Anyway, you're just going to cut them up into, let's see, more than quarters, I'd say. Just cut them up into chunks. Make sure they're kind of like all about the same size. That way they'll cook a little faster if they're chopped up into smaller pieces. Because like I said, I'm hungry. Just got out of church today. We had a good word today. The message was on quit lying, which was fantastic. It was so great to hear the truth. And so now I'm home. I had to stop by Kroger and pick up some pork chops because we didn't have any. And our grocery stores were the shelves were pretty empty in Kroger. We've had snow this past week, and so they haven't had a chance to restock the shelves. And I think that's about enough. I already have my water on the stove. I don't know if you can see that, the stove. Let me see. Let's see if I can get over here. All right. So, oops, let me make sure this camera is right. Okay, so I have my pot of water on the stove boiling. So I'm going to go ahead and pour the potatoes in the pot and get them boiling. And then I'll cut up the cabbage, and the pork chops will be done last. And I'll probably make some cornbread muffins as well. So let's see. My camera is on this podium and it keeps spinning. I apologize. But let's see if I can do this with one hand. Okay, let's see. See, my camera keeps swiveling on this. Need to tighten it up. Okay, so I have my pot, and I'm going to, well, let's just do it like this. That water is hot. Let me do this off camera. Okay, I have all my potatoes in the boiling water, and I'm going to put a top on there and let it boil. It's on a medium high. And then I'm going to get started on cutting up the cabbage. Okay, in order to keep the water from just boiling over everything, sometimes you have to kind of let the kind of have the top angled to let a little air, and I might have put a little bit too much water. I might have turned it down. I don't want water spilling everywhere, but just watch your pot. Okay, since this cabbage is pretty big, and I really didn't want to buy one this big, but this was all they had at Kroger. I don't want to cook all this. I'm going to cook half and maybe do the half another time. So I'm just going to do half of the cabbage. Let me see. Make sure you can see that. Okay, so we're just going to cut this up. And we're going to clean the cabbage. And then we'll put it on. I'm going to also cut up some onion and bell pepper. I think I have some bell pepper. They were out of bell pepper at the store. They were almost out of celery. I got the last celery stalk. They didn't have any cream of chicken soup. They were out of several items, but that's what happens when we have snow. The grocery stores just run out of food on a lot of items. But anyway. Okay, so we're just going to cut all this up, like I said, and then we're going to wash the cabbage, rinse the cabbage, and then fry it on top of the stove. It's pretty quick, and cabbage has a lot of water in it. I put a little water in the bottom of the pot, but it kind of makes its own water. It don't need too much, and when I'm frying it, I don't have to have that much water on it anyway. I'll just save this for another day. All right, I'll be back. Okay, I have my colander, and I'm just going to put the cabbage in here, let it rinse off, and then we'll put it in the pot or skillet on top of the stove. I'm just washing it or rinsing it. Cabbage doesn't take that long to cook. Some people like their cabbage a little bit crispy. Some people like it really soggy and really cooked, fully cooked. It depends on how you like it cooked. Some people like it with a little crunch. Some people don't. They want it fully soft. All right. I do need to cut up my onion. I don't want to forget, let me cut up my onion. So I have a little onion here. I got a little onion and a knife. I cut this onion up, and I couldn't find a bell pepper, but I got a red one or an orange one. We'll see what I have in my refrigerator. Okay, I found a bell pepper in my refrigerator, and I got some onion. So I'm gonna cut this up. I'm not gonna use all the bell pepper because it's not that much cabbage. So let's see. We're gonna cut all this up. And you can chop it and dice it as fine as you want or make it bigger. It's depending on how you like your onion and bell pepper and your cabbage. I think I rinsed it off, and make sure I rinse that bell pepper off. But we've been having very cold temperatures here. I'm in Arkansas. And I want a good hot Sunday dinner. I hope you went to church today. It was very cold. I'm not gonna lie to you. I kind of wanted to stay in the house. It was so cold. I think it was about 20 degrees. No, 17 degrees, something like that. But no more snow. The sun did come out. All right. Let's get the cabbage on the stove, okay? Okay, my potatoes are boiling away, and I really think I got a little bit too much water in this pot, and I don't, like I said, I don't want a big mess. Let me pour a little bit of that water out. Kind of bubbling over. I'm gonna pour a little bit of that out in the sink. Okay, that's better. All right. Okay, so I have my pot on the stove. I'm gonna turn it on medium, and I'm gonna go in this cabinet. I think I got a little bacon fat that I'm going to use. I don't know if you keep a can of little bacon fat. I use that a lot when I'm making my cabbage or greens. I use a teaspoon or two. Give it that cabbage some flavor. Give it some good flavor. Now you can just use olive oil or butter or whatever oil you want to use, but I put a little butter. I put a little oil in the pan. But this time I'm not using oil, actually I'm using bacon fat. Alright, so we're going to let that get hot, and then we'll put our cabbage and our onions and bell pepper and let the cabbage cook. Also, let me go in this cabinet. I like to use this seasoning when I can get it. It's called Eat Your Greens. And I like to put that in my cabbage as well to season it. Alright. Put that back up in the cabinet. Alright, so we letting that skillet get hot. Alright. Alright, so I'm going to pour that in there. We're just going to dump it all in. Here's my cabbage, my bell pepper, onion. Pour that in there. Alright. I'm going to pour, this is not the whole package, but it's probably about, I pour all that. It's probably half the package. Alright, and I'm going to add a little water just for the bottom. Let's see. I don't know how much water this container has, but I'm going to pour that in there. Maybe I'll put two of those. Alright. I'm also going to put some black pepper because I love black pepper. And I'm going to put the top on it and let it do its thing, okay? May take 15-20 minutes for the cabbage. You have to stir it, check it. Okay, I took my top off and just stir up the cabbage. I hope you can see that. And it's cooking on a medium high. And I'll just put the top back on it. My potatoes are still boiling. You don't want the water to boil out of it, so you check it. As long as the potatoes are fork tender, they will be ready to start mashing for the mashed potatoes. I just add butter, milk. You can add half and half to cream up your potatoes. You probably can even add heavy cream. but you want your mashed potatoes creamy and delicious. All right, can you see how my cabbage is getting softer? You see the smoke coming from it, so it's probably steaming up in the camera, but you want your cabbage to cook and become tender. I did put a little bit of Slap Your Mama seasoning on it, but you don't want to make it too salty because the Eat Your Greens does have sodium already in it. All right, my potatoes, I believe they're about ready. And what I'm gonna do is put a fork in it, and you see how that fork, it broke the potatoes apart. Try to get up closer. This camera is tilting on this stand. I apologize. Might have to get another stand. Let me stop. But once your potatoes are fork tender, they're ready. So I'm gonna turn this off. Okay, my cabbage is really cooking. I can tell it's getting tender. I'm stirring it to let you see it. Okay, now my pot wants to turn. Alright, but anyway, I tightened up my camera and now the pot wants to spin. I tell you, need a cameraman. Anyway, it's getting a lot tender. Now, if you want to add a little more water to this just to make sure you have some cabbage juice, you can add 3 tablespoons full if you want a little bit more water. But mostly for fried pork chops, it doesn't have that much juice. Or smothered cabbage. Did I say fried pork chops? I meant to say fried cabbage. Fried cabbage or smothered cabbage is what it may be also called. But you can taste it too to make sure it's seasoned the way you want it. Make sure it's tender the way you want it. Okay, I have my pot that I'm going to put my pork chops in. This is like a cast iron pot. My mom gave it to me. It's very old, but it's sentimental to me because my mom gave it to me. My late mother gave it to me. And I'm just going to use some vegetable oil and some olive oil. You can use whatever oil you want. Vegetable oil, canola oil. I just like to mix the two. And you don't need that much oil in the pot or skillet. You can use a cast iron skillet, whatever. You can use a Dutch oven, pot, or skillet. And so you want to fill the bottom with oil. And these are the thin pork chops. These are the pork loin chops thin. And if you want them thinner than what they are, you can get a mallet and pound them and make them thinner if you want them thinner than what they are. And they say that they're thin, but I've seen them thinner than these. So this is the thickness. And I'm going to just leave them as they are. But to tenderize them, sometimes you can pound them with a mallet. I guess I could go ahead and pound it and show you what I'm talking about. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Let's see if I can find my meat mallet. Here it is. If you have something like this, and you can press it down thinner. Okay, I have my seasonings. We're gonna season front and back. This is the black pepper. And I'm just gonna season it right on top of the board. I'm putting black pepper on each side. Some of them I flattened out, some of them I really didn't. I got a little garlic powder. And then we're gonna put a little Slap Your Mama or whatever seasoning salt you like. This is like a Cajun season. That Tony Chichero is good as well if you have some of that. You can put onion powder. whatever seasonings you like to season your pork chops. We're frying these. And not too much sodium, be careful with it. If you're watching your sodium, you might need to leave the sodium off or use some Mrs. Dash or some salt substitute if you can't have the salt. All right, we're gonna put some, this is my flour right here in this canister. And let me wash my hands right quick. I got some soapy water here because I was washing dishes off camera. I can wash my hands at the sink. All right, I'm going to get my Ziploc bag. And put some flour in here. This is a 1/4 cup. Just enough to kind of put in the bag. And I like to season my flour, so I put a little garlic powder. And I put my seasonings in the flour to season it as well. Okay, so we're gonna put them in. Now if you wanna put them in egg to make them more crispy, or if you want to put them in buttermilk, you can do all of that. I'm not doing all that today. I'm just putting it in the flour and letting it get floured on both sides. And my oil should be hot. Let me see if I can bring the camera around to show you. I think my oil is ready. It's on like a medium. So we're gonna let that. I probably only got room for 2 pork chops. I don't have room. You don't want to crowd the skillet or pot. You're just shaking it up. Then it gets coated with flour on both sides. And we're gonna put this pork chop in here. See if I can find room. Kind of overlapping each other, but it'll be okay. All right, let me get my fork and I can move that around. Make that sit in there. Yeah, that's it. Okay, we're gonna let that cook. Let me make sure you can see that. Okay, so the pork chops are frying. You can cover it or leave it uncovered, but on a medium heat, because you want it to get done all the way through. You want it to be golden brown. And I have my oven preheating at 400 degrees. Because I'm going to make my cornbread and put my cornbread on while my pork chops are frying. The potatoes are ready. They just need to be mashed up. The cabbage back there is ready as well. Now we're on the pork chops and the cornbread. I'm going to just have to mash these potatoes, add milk, butter, salt and pepper, pour off the water, of course, and that'll be my potatoes. You can use your you can make them fork. You can mash them with a fork. I usually use my handheld mixer and cream up my potatoes. I'll show you. Okay, while my pork chops are cooking, I did put a lid on it. I'm going to, let me wash my hands again. So I got flour on my hands. I'm going to put the oil, the vegetable oil, in the muffin pan and get it hot and get it ready for the cornbread. So I'm going to pour just a little bit to cover the bottom. I don't know, about a, what's that, a tablespoon? Or 2 tablespoons? Probably two tablespoons. And so what I do is I get this, what is this called? I forget what it's called. Anyway, I just Put the oil around the edges real good because I don't want the cornbread to stick. Want it to easily come out this muffin pan. But I just put this in the oven on 400, let it get hot. And I'm gonna mix up my cornbread mix. You can use Jiffy cornbread mix, whatever cornbread mix you like. Put that in the oven. And I'm gonna go ahead and make up this cornbread. Okay, my pork chops are getting brown. I don't know if they're ready to turn over or not. Let me peek and see. I like them browner than that, so we just gonna let it continue to cook. And I might even turn my skillet up. It seems like it just went down on me. I want it to fry. I turned it up just a tad. Supposed to be on medium high. It seems like it went down. Alright, I'm gonna make this cornbread. So here's my cornmeal mix. I need oil. I need an egg. I need sugar. Here's my sugar. And of course I need some buttermilk. And I got buttermilk. So I'm gonna make up this cornbread. Like I said, you can use Jiffy if you want to. Okay. So I just need enough cornmeal for about 6 muffins. And so I just pour it out. I don't know if that's about a cup. That's about a cup. I use this little bowl all the time to help me kind of know how much. That's I think that's a 1/4 cup of sugar, buttermilk. I should have shook that buttermilk up. A little oil. I'm sorry I'm not measuring this. Probably need 2 tablespoons of oil. I want 1 egg. And I think since I turned those pork chops up, they're cooking better. I'm gonna flip them over. Let me crack this 1 egg. There we go. All right. Let me flip over these pork chops because I think they're browning more because I turned it up a little bit. Let me see if I can get the camera and show you. Let's see. Okay, so use your tongs and flip it over. Yeah, that's what I want. And since they're thin, they don't take a long time to cook when they're thin. So these will be ready in about 2 or 3 minutes. So we just got to brown on that side. But they're thin, so they don't take long to cook. We're going to let them drain on a paper towel. Just got to brown on that other side. Okay, I'm going to mix up this cornbread. Got me a spoon. And so I got the oil, the egg, buttermilk. We're just stirring it up. Let me see if this pork chop is ready. Another minute. Just trying to make sure it gets brown and crispy on the other side. And like I said, if you want your pork chops really crispy, you could put more flour on them and dredge them in egg or buttermilk. And they'll be more crispy and crunchy on the outside. Okay, add a little bit more buttermilk because I wanted that to. All right, there is my cornmeal mix for my muffins. All right. I think I'm gonna add 1 teaspoon of flour just to this. But this is pretty much the consistency that I like. All right, I'm gonna take these pork chops off out before I burn them. Okay, I got a paper towel on this. I'm letting the oil drip off of it. That's what you want. Nice and brown on both sides. All right, there's my pork chops now. I got more. They've been in here. I think I got 2 more. And they've been in the flour. So, put that in there. I think since that's a pretty big one, I'm going to let that one fry in that skillet by itself. Because it's got to have enough room. And that skillet is really cooking good. Alright. I added about a tablespoon of flour just because I wanted to for my cornbread. You know, the cornmeal used to be Aunt Jemima, and then they changed it to the pearl milling, and I'm not sure if it's exactly the same or what. Oh, but anyway, if you like your cornbread a little bit more sweeter, you can add a little bit more sugar than what I did. It's up to you. Okay, so this third pork chop is ready. I'm going to take it out of the skillet. It's cooking a lot faster since I turned it up, and I think I'm going to turn it back down some because it seems like it cooks quicker when it's just 1 pork chop in the pot instead of 2. Okay, this is the last pork chop. Let's see. Yeah, I had to turn it down some because it's really cooking a lot faster now. And with 1 pork chop, it cooks a lot quicker. Alright, so while that last pork chop is cooking, and it took about 6 minutes or so. It didn't take long because that's really thin. If it's thin and small, it may take 3 to 5 minutes. It's just, not 3 minutes, probably 5 minutes. But anyway, you want it brown on both sides. And since they're thin, they do cook quicker when they're thinner. And sometimes I flip it over. But I wanted to make sure it's brown evenly on both sides. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and drain these potatoes out of the water and mix them up. Drain them at the sink. Okay, I drained my potatoes. I drained the water off those potatoes, okay? Okay, so I have my potatoes in here. I have my mixer right here. I think you can see it. Yeah, I hope you can. All right, and so I'm just going to put some butter or margarine and some milk. So this is some milk. You can use whole milk, 2%, 1%, whatever milk you got. I don't know about putting buttermilk in it, but you probably can. Probably all right. Buttermilk, mashed potatoes. I don't know. I never had it. I normally use regular milk. I have used pet milk. Oops. So I'm sure buttermilk will be okay. I mean, I've used pet milk. But anyway, what I also need to do is make sure I put some salt and pepper. And some people like the white pepper. I don't have any white pepper. I just have black pepper. Put some pepper so it leaves black flakes in the potatoes. And then you just use some salt. You can use pink Himalayan salt, whatever salt you have. Anyway, I just kind of mash it, and I don't know if you can see what I'm doing. You probably can't. Let's bring it over. Let's see. Okay, so here's the potatoes, and I'm going to whip them up. Just a second. Okay, let's get to whipping these potatoes, and I think my camera is still a little wobbly on this stand here. Let's see. All right. Okay, so you mash them up with the beaters. You can look at it and tell, oh, it needs a little bit more butter, it needs a little bit more milk. So I'm definitely going to add more margarine. And I'm probably going to add just a little bit more milk. That's probably what? A couple tablespoons full. I want this creamy. And I like to use a mixer because it really gets it creamy. I like the texture of the mashed potatoes when they're creamy, almost like a cake mix. Thick and creamy mashed potatoes. Yummy, yummy, yummy. Turn it up on high. You taste it and see if it needs a little bit more salt or pepper, a little bit more margarine, you can taste it. Okay. I like mine kind of thick. All right. Okay, so that last pork chop is ready. It's brown. They're thin, they don't take long. So I'm gonna turn the stove off. Okay, so let me put this cornbread in the oven because it should be nice and hot. Okay, I have my muffin pan out of the oven, and so I'm going to pour the cornmeal into the container. Let's see. All right, you see that sizzle? You want that. Ooh, my. You guys, I just don't know what to do about this. All right, let's get it going. Here we go. So I got enough of 6 muffin pans. I need to put it in the oven on 400, let it bake for 15 minutes. All right. All right. Let's put this in the oven on 400. Okay, so put that in the oven. I like to put it on a cookie sheet just in case something spills. Okay. So we got it in the oven, okay? About 415 minutes. Okay, there we go. Okay, while we're waiting for the bread to brown in the oven, I'm gonna go ahead and wash dishes, clean up my mess. I hope you all are having a great Sunday. I hope you're having a great day, whatever day you watch this. I hope you're having a great day. I fixed pork chops before, but I don't think I fried pork chops. I have other videos where I've done pork chops, and a lot of times I know it seems like I just cook the same thing over and over, but these are recipes that are tried and true, food that we enjoy. I'm in the South. It's one of these Southern comfort dishes, and it's really not that. It doesn't take that long to fix. It takes me longer when I'm trying to record and cook it. Now, if I was just cooking it and not having to record, I'd probably been through by now. But anyway, I'm sorry about my camera keeps twisting. I have it on a tripod, and maybe I don't have it screwed tight enough. I'm not sure, but the show must go on. We're not gonna worry about it. It'll be okay. But I'm just washing dishes, and I'm just grateful and thankful that we have had electricity. We haven't had any power outages in the cold weather. We've had snow. I don't think we've had too many down trees or anything. I think I saw a few trees, but I'm just grateful that the electricity stayed on because it is below freezing outside. I'm not sure what the weather forecast is saying about the temperatures going up this week. I hope so. I hope the sun can come out and melt the snow. And I don't know where you live at. Put in the comments where you live. Have you had snow? Are you in, what state are you watching me from? Where are you watching me from? What state, what country, what city are you watching me from? If you'll put that in the comments. And have you been having snow and freezing temperatures? But this is one of these down home southern comfort food dinners that you'll enjoy on a cold day. Alright, so the cornbread to be ready, and I gotta decide if I want some peas or if I want another vegetable. We'll see. I'm gonna go ahead and open up a can of corn to go with the meal, and that yellow corn will brighten up my plate. Okay, I opened up a can of corn here. So I'm going to pour the corn and the juice and everything into the pot. Make sure I get all the kernels out. And then I'm going to put some margarine or butter. And then I normally just season it with some black pepper. And then we'll be eating some corn with our meal. Alright. Okay, we're gonna let that warm up. So we have our mashed potatoes. Okay, my phone rang. Somebody called, but here is the, again, here's the mashed potatoes. And here's the corn that's cooking. Here are the cabbage, and I might need to warm those back up. And then here is the pork chops. And let's see what's going on in the oven. Let's see, the cornbread is almost ready. Okay, the cornbread is out of the oven. It's brown, golden brown. Let me turn the oven off since it's ready. Hit the off switch. Okay. And so again, we got our corn and we have our mashed potatoes. That butter has melted, but it hadn't melted all the way. I think I'm going to heat up those cabbage. And there's the pork chops, the thin pork chops. Alrighty, we'll be eating shortly, eating our Sunday dinner shortly. So, and I think my camera battery is getting ready to go out on me for some reason. So, I want to make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And if you try this dinner at home, let me know how you like it. There's the cabbage, the corn, mashed potatoes, the muffins. Yeah, I think my battery's about to go out. Okay, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Appreciate you for watching Life with Miss D. One thing to add, you can also put the fried pork chops in some brown gravy. And that way you have some gravy for your mashed potatoes, and that will make it so delicious. You can smother the pork chops in gravy and onions, and that will also be a very nice addition if you want to do that. All right, thank you so much for watching Life with Miss D.